Konnichiwa, Night City. I'm Arif Iqbal, and this is WNS News. We begin today's broadcast with a piece of welcome local news. Next year, Night City will play host to a Japanese festival of culture. The lineup of activities will include anime brain dances, a concert series featuring the year's hottest Aidoru, as well as culinary workshops. The festival's headlining sponsor is the Arasaka Corporation. To them, I offer my own personal heartfelt arigatou gozaimasu. In other news, the homeless population in Night City has risen by 300%. The NCPD has announced that it will soon launch a sweeping catch and release program to relocate the vagrants outside city limits. The police are asking any willing volunteers eager to help in the effort to report to their local NCPD station. In exchange, the police are offering the chance of a criminal record reset to those who actively participate. Night City, what does it mean to you? How well do you know its history? Who was Richard Knight? How many stations are in the NCART system? Which city district boasts the best burrito in town? The answers to these questions and more can be found at the address at the bottom of your screen. Check it out and fall in love with Night City all over again. That's it for today's latest. Thank you for spending your day with WNS News.
Ahoy, sea dogs! Set sail for flavor with Capitan Caliente's world-famous tacos, now in whale size.
Feeling tired, bored, powerless? Not anymore. Experience all of Crow Manticore's 16 new flavors and mix it up.
Devolutionists or Federalists? It's okay. Don't answer that. It doesn't matter. Your votes are useless anyway. Both parties are pitching you the same old bullshit. Cancer capitalism, a libertarian dystopia, a world without values, hope, basic empathy. All they want for you is to slave away till you drop dead. To be a cog in the machine till you forget you're even human. They all say the same thing, that you too can be rich. That if you just work hard enough and take care of yourself, you'll make it to the top. Lies, lies, and more lies. The American dream is dead. We're living the American nightmare. A nightmare where you don't wake up. Behold! Poverty in every flavor of the rainbow! 2-for-1 discount or death! My dear Night citizens, it's time you stopped eating their lies! Time you knew there was another way! The system cannot be changed! Only abolished, once and for all!
In a city tingling with desire, Watson Horn. New episodes every Wednesday at 10. Only on WNS.
Feeling tired, bored, powerless? Not anymore. Experience all of Crow Manticore's 16 new flavors and mix it up.
All pleasure from all foods. Provides 330% of recommended daily vitamins.
Synthetic meat, you're in for a treat. Try ours today. Don't make trouble. Be trouble. Where there's smoke, there's fires.
70% real blood-dripping meat.
Slaughterhouse, satisfy your instincts. Congratulations! If you're sitting and watching this, it means you survived! No lunatic broke into your home when you were sleeping! No piece of trash held you at gunpoint on your way to the subway! No cyber psycho shredded you to ribbons while you were buying groceries! The powers that be say there's nothing to be done! That there's no budget for police! That nobody knows what causes cyberpsychosis! That drug trafficking is inevitable! Lies, I tell you! Dirty, stinking lies! Don't you get that's what they want? They want you to wet yourself every time you hear footsteps behind you! Whenever somebody knocks at your door! They want you to draw that iron and pull the trigger! But do you know what they're afraid of? Trust. Trust between neighbors, citizens, because that's what's stopping us from being allies instead of enemies. Our society is broken. We're a heap of depressed, lonely, ego-obsessed individuals, and so we grab on to anyone who offers us a fantasy on a chip, a dream of a better life. We need to learn how to talk to each other, how to stop being afraid, how to trust. Remember, change starts from within.
Yo, my chewers, shroomers, and fumers! Mr. Whitey here! Drop that milquetoast kibble and rush to the nearest store for a taste of sweet, sweet, sweet clean speed. Cause life is too short to be slow.
Mr. Stud. All night, every night. Don't be soft. Upgrade now.
Hello, my name is Arif Iqbal, and this is WNS News. In today's international segment, we turn our eyes towards Asia. The summit between China and India has ended with the signing of a new trade agreement. Under the agreement, the tariffs for iridium, dysprosium, and lanthanum, rare metals necessary for the construction of the Chi-Yu-2 orbital station, have been lifted. The signatories have also agreed to the free movement of organic persons and biopodders between the two countries. This is the latest step in the two nations' push for greater economic integration, and the benefits such cooperation brings. This flies in stark contrast to the NUSA's protectionism and trade war policies under President Myers. In science news, biotechnical researchers have announced another breakthrough in genetics: the restoration of 3 previously extinct animal species: the North American beaver, the swift fox, and the eastern cottontail. Though back from the dead, these species will not be reintroduced to their natural habitats for fear of an increased risk of zoonotic disease, similar to the Great Bird Flu of 2061 and the rat fever of 2072. For the time being, the animals will only be grown on special order. The people of Turkey are bracing themselves for a radioactive sandstorm yet again this year. Meteorologists expect southern winds to carry several dozen tons of irradiated dust from the former states of Syria, Iraq, and Iran. The fallout from these territories, devastated during the so-called suicide war, remain the primary source of radiation that falls onto Europe and the eastern Mediterranean. After the break, we take a closer look at the new sneakers from Avante that hit Night City shelves tomorrow. My name is Arif Iqbal. Thank you for joining us on WNS News. We begin today with a look at the local news. Arasaka Corp has signed a cooperation agreement with Night City University. Professors and students now have the option to acquire an Arasaka Ozukumi SX cognitive implant on loan at a 20% discounted rate. Sources tell us installation of the implant will become a requirement for all faculty and enrolled students before long. In a troubling turn, 12 fatalities have been reported in Vista del Rey. City coroners have confirmed botulism as the cause of death. It appears the common thread between all the victims is the same type of canned meat. The NCPD urges everyone to purchase meat only from approved culinary labs. Meat butchered from natural sources is likely to contain harmful toxins and pathogens. After botulism, the next bug Night City will catch is Lizzie Wizzy Fever, as she announces her upcoming concert series. The world-renowned singer and artist is due to visit Night City soon. Tickets will only be available for purchase to those with a credit rating above 700. For all of Lizzie Wizzy's other fans, the concert will be available to view through domestic theater units. And that's your latest, Night City. Until next time. My name is Arif Iqbal, and you're watching WNS News. The 27th Annual Conference of the Implant Manufacturers Association recently came to a close. One of the hottest topics discussed was the ever-increasing rate of cyber psycho attacks. Over the last decade, the number of incidents has increased as much as 43%. Lamar Kalinske, association chairman, emphasized that it isn't the implants who kill people, but the individuals themselves who misuse their products. A fair point, Mr. Kalinske. In Antony, just outside of Paris, dangerous left-wing political extremist Thomas Clichy was finally apprehended. Clichy has sowed unrest for years, urging European governments to restore pensions, annuities, and social benefits, despite arguments from most economists that such changes would sink GDP growth rates. Clichy faces up to 40 years in prison and is subject to brain dance rehabilitation therapy. In the world of shipping, many ask, when will our oceans be open to us again? In the wake of the Red Decade, key shipping channels remain littered with undetonated explosives, and rogue autonomous submarines continue to attack freight vessels on the open seas. With shipping restricted to ground and air, transport costs have ballooned by more than 3,000%, which in turn has severely slowed the global economy. The governments of the world must step up to the task of opening our oceans for business once more. Call your representative today. Thank you for tuning in to WNS News. See you next time.
Hey you! What do you have for dinner? Some scalp paste from a tube? Meat spray? Yellow tap water and canned high fructose syrup? What do you think they give to people living in the co-op villages? I tell you, rare steaks and lobsters on silver platters. Wired bottles from a time without constant acid rain. You'll say it's always been this way. The rich and the poor, the miserable and the contented. At least back in the good old days, everyone was equal in the face of death. The fates snipped your thread, and Charon took you across the river Styx for a single oboe. My, how things have changed. The rich have boosted their lifespans by years, decades, even centuries. They've swapped their organs for implants, cured cancer with nanites, exchanged their wrinkles and flaps for sin skin. But oh no! They won't stop there! Arasaka has made a new biochip! Relic, storing a real human being's consciousness, their memory, knowledge, everything but their flesh and blood. But what's a body nowadays if not a dry, disgusting cocoon from which our real selves, enhanced, modified, immortal, are supposed to emerge? It's the end of death! That's what the relic is! The top 1% of the 1% are using it to build their own paradise on Earth. Except, instead of St. Peter, there's a terminal showing the price of your soul. And what about the rest of us gray, ordinary night citizens? While they're living in their pristine glass skyscrapers on New Olympus, we'll be eating shit off the streets. This is it! Our final stop before we sleepwalk over the cliff! Wake up, people! It's the millionaires of this world that need a good shove!
My name is Arif Iqbal, and this is WNS News. We have a breaking development for today's international news segment, or should I say, interplanetary. In a daring orbital heist, millions of Eurodollars worth of goods were stolen from Galileo. The thieves docked with the station during a solar storm, which temporarily blinded radar systems, then breached the hull of an orbital air laboratory. The space pirates, as some have dubbed them, made away with several experimental prototypes. Their current heading is unknown, but the ESA has offered a generous reward for any assistance in apprehending the suspects. Back on Earth, a story of optimism emerges from Detroit. The Motor City, formerly infamous for a century of economic decline and squalor, has at last reached its new golden age. As good fortune would have it, the city's numerous landfills, abandoned buildings, and industrial zones are rich in rare resources, now highly valued in today's economy. Thousands of migrants have caught junk fever and set their sights on the city in the search of electronics manufactured around the turn of the century. Undeterred by hazardous conditions and gang violence, these pioneers truly demonstrate the beauty of the American entrepreneurial spirit. today's closing story. Singhad Studios has announced a new way we, as a society, can care for our elderly. Rather than place our infirm elders in an expensive care center on the other side of town, we will soon be able to connect them to the Silver Days system. Silver Days is an advanced feeder unit adapted to the needs of our eldest relatives. The all-inclusive system consists of a catheter, aspirator, IV drip, nutrition tube, and most importantly, a next-gen brain dance wreath. Your loved ones will be able to forget the worries of today and return to the simpler times of their youth. All reconstructed from your own personal family archives. Don't waste another minute. Pre-order Silver Days now to receive a 10% discount. And I wish you all a bright and shiny day. Thanks for tuning in to WNS News.
Kaboom! Soyasil Machistador, an explosion of taste!
Every Friday.
Hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you! See any animals yesterday? Even a single one? Not even a roach or a rat? That's what I thought! Cause that's what our city is now! A wasteland of glass, steel, and silicone! Governments and courts tell us it's for our own good! That it's the only thing stopping another bird flu, or swine flu, or whatever flu! And we're supposed to just take them for their word! Wake up, people! Here we are, constructing artificial cities in orbit, downloading our minds into integrated circuits, coding all-powerful AIs, and we can't make one damn flu vaccine! You wanna know why? Corps want to destroy nature, cause it doesn't give them IPs or copyright ownership! So we eat test tube chicken, plants that grow in labs, hell, even photosynthesis has been trademarked. Enough is enough! It's time we said stop! Before the sixth extinction wipes us all out! You think they'll stop at food? What about our bodies? There's no chunk of them that can't be cut, improved and modified, so that every breath we take, every heartbeat generates profit. And what about your children? From the Corp's perspective, it's untapped potential, a goddamn wasted commodity. Soon our techno-fascist overlords will convince you that having children isn't your natural right, but a privilege you pay for out of your pocket. The water you're drinking, the food you're eating, they're putting chemicals in that will reduce your fertility, so that soon they'll be incubating babies in water tanks, with serial numbers on their foreheads, hooked up to cables instead of umbilical cords. Open your eyes! Snap out of it! Before it's too late!
Hello, Night City. Thank you for tuning in. It's time for the local news. The long-awaited execution of Joaquin Schmidt, better known as the Watson Butcher, is scheduled to take place tomorrow. The 27-year-old confessed to the murder of 21 people, including his own sister and mother. His execution will be open to the public, and for those who prefer to watch from home, it will be live-streamed at the address you see at the bottom of your screen. This event's organizer, Capital Corrections Incorporated, promises a compelling spectacle as well as attractive prizes for a few lucky viewers. Attention Charter Hill residents. A recent study commissioned by All Foods has shown hazardous levels of lead and cadmium in your tap water that pose a significant risk to human health. The Night City Department of Water Management has attributed any elevated toxicity to obsolete municipal piping, though has made no plans for their replacement. Drinking bottled water remains the safest way to reduce your risk of waterborne illness. And remember, it's always cheapest at All Foods. NCART representatives have said to expect ongoing delays on the M2 Metro line. Arroyo Station was evacuated after its early warning system detected a massive population of rats dwelling in one of the tunnels. Pest control was immediately called to exterminate the infestation, but the NC Transport Authority has announced the station will remain closed until further notice. And that will do it for today's local news segment. Have a pleasant day, Night City. Hello and welcome to WNS News. I'm Arif Iqbal. Today we have several important public service announcements. In Arroyo, a terrorist group dubbing itself a trade union has been eradicated. These self-proclaimed representatives of Night City's working class attempted to organize a strike, which could have led to financial losses in the millions. Remember, if you come across these so-called union representatives, immediately contact the NCPD or the appropriate corporate security forces. More and more patients have been filing into hospitals throughout Night City, with injuries caused by malfunctions in illegally purchased cyberware. Unauthenticated implants have caused several fatal short circuits already. The NCPD urges all cyberware users to buy only from licensed manufacturers. It's worth the investment. Numerous nomad caravans have appeared near city limits in North Oak and Charter Hill. Some reports suggest some of the violent vagrants may have entered Night City despite the NCPD's best efforts. If you spot a nomad, remember that you have the right to self-defense. With such dangerous criminals, warning shots alone are not considered an effective deterrent. Now, today's final story. An NCART station is stunned by a bloody massacre. The unidentified assailant opened fire on passengers waiting for the train on Platform 2 at Med Center. 10 people are confirmed dead and 16 injured. We advise Night citizens to thoroughly consider all transport options to find the safest solution. Thanks for tuning in to WNS News. Stay safe out there, Night City.